Hello, and welcome to Real Talk with our special guest, David, in the kitchen. Welcome.
Welcome. Today is January 26th,
27th.
2021. It's the day that GameStop broke Schwab, is one way I'm thinking about it. So GameStop has gone from $15 to $350 in 2 weeks. Record volume, record activity, record calls, and I think that's why the Charles Schwab system did not work well this morning. So I'm somebody who gets up early, gets prepared, and if something moves early in the morning, I might want to jump on it. Schwab trading system was unavailable, so I had to wait. Then I called them, and on the voicemail said, don't bother waiting because nothing works. So somewhere around between 11 and 12, it kicked back in. This isn't my first time you can't trade. Systems will go down. Stuff happens. It might have been GameStop caused the volume spike, but before it was something else. And you just have to do something else. So I paid all my bills. It's the end of the month when I do the bills, and I sat down and did them. So I got something done. If I let myself, I can add up money that I probably should have made or saved if I could have sold something or bought something. But you never really know. So that was today, January 27th, 2021.
Wow. Thank you for sharing that. And it's so interesting because systems do go down. It is a fact of the technology world we live in. So that's great that you were able to substitute another task for that. How have you approached it in the past when systems have gone down on critical days?
I have literally gotten up, gotten in the car, and done an errand. When I was at work and you'd have a problem like that, you'd go back in your office and do paperwork. Because you just can't do anything. Everything is tied. Everything has to go through the electronic system. So even if I got a hold of somebody at Schwab, it would have been a painstaking 20 to 30 minutes to get them to do what I needed to do for certain accounts and passwords and protections, which are there for a reason. I don't want anybody to hack my account. So you have to then, if you're going to rely on that security, when the system's down, the system's down. When it used to happen at work, there'd be people screaming at each other, but screaming doesn't fix it.
Absolutely. And back in the day when you were working in this same field, how would the process be different with phone orders? And would there be as similar challenges with getting things done?
You would do workarounds. So if somebody wanted to buy a stock, it'd have to go through the system. The system's not working. So you'd use a calculator and figure out how much they wanted to buy, triple check it because you're going to have to wear the error if there is one, and then scale it back and maybe do half of what you think the order should be. And then you would call somebody up and say, okay, obviously the system's not working. We're doing this the old-fashioned way on paper, and do this. Yeah, and with the way the compliance works, everything needs to talk to everything with a trail. So I'm sure whoever I gave the order to had to open up their special folder and say, okay, this is the trail. The trail's by hand. Now, with volume like it is nowadays, I don't even think you could do that.
That's so interesting. And how would you compare all of the ways you can use stock on iPhones? So the apps.
I don't. I absolutely refuse to enter an order on the phone app. Oh, Schwab did send me an email saying the phone app does work, but I didn't bother opening it.
Really?
Yes, I am old school. I like to have a big screen so I can see the multiple different layers of multiple different markets and not make a mistake. I've noticed some nephews who I have talked to about stocks, and they like to do options, And I couldn't believe that anybody could do an option on their phone, and they showed me how easy it was. And that's what's causing all the volume. Because when I quizzed them on just certain option metrics, like what month are you buying? Why are you paying that for the March versus the June? The farther you go out, the bigger the premium is. You know when the earnings are coming out, so you might want to have an expiration around that. They didn't have a clue what I was talking about. They're using Robinhood. It pops up. It's almost like DraftKings. How do you want to make a bet? And let's do it right now. So it is. It's a casino. It's working. Everybody's making money, so I'm happy for them. They just cracked the market today. That being said, I kept saying the date earlier. This could be the top.
When the market literally crashes.
Well, it could be similar to in 2000 March. Was it the Palm spit-off that was the top? You don't, in hindsight, you go back and try to think. But there wasn't really like an event. It just kind of went down. So here, the event could be GameStop is just a symptom of everything else.
It's so interesting to notice how the stock market has had these all-time highs and the connection with the technology like Robinhood that make it possible for people to have these quick bets and immediate updates. What is your perspective on that?
I think it's great for the people who use it. My brain doesn't work that way, is why I don't use it. It's been working in an up market. We'll see what happens in a down market, because nothing works in a down market. So it's who loses less. I think it's great that we have so many young people who are now invested in stocks, hopefully invested, not trading, but they're at least in the market. So they're aware of it and they can start saving, hopefully, and maybe set up a second Robinhood account, one's that's for long term and one's for short term, but that's for each individual person. I bet you nobody in Robinhood has bought a bond. But, yeah.
So for people that are looking to have those long-term investments and increase their preparation for the stock market, what's one piece of advice you'd want them to walk away with?
Read the newspaper. Because if you read a newspaper, you'll get a longer, deeper string that you're pulling on, or a train of thought or something. And you kind of want to read it every day. So then you'll start seeing, you'll start noticing things. Different people like different things, so they will read the article about agricultural stocks and grain and weather, and other people will read stuff about the new tech and there's a new iPhone coming out, or they'll be interested in retail and Lululemon. Who's the next Lululemon? Who's the next Peloton? Stuff that they use. But if you read the paper, you get a little bit more in depth. That's all.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom and background on the stock market on this pivotal day of history.
Yes. And let's do this again.
Thank you. I look forward to our next Real Talk, unedited conversation. Talk to you soon.